Hello, Potato. We are here in San Antonio, Texas today. Right now we're at the Mission San Antonio de Valero. But if we walk just a little bit over here, just past the mission, or so what is left of the mission with its stopped up cannons, and I guess it's just the mission gate now at this point, but if you go past the mission, you can see that we are actually here at the Alamo. So yeah, today we're gonna check out the Alamo. I figured if we're here doing touristy things, I can't think of anything more touristy than checking out the Alamo. And maybe we'll see if we can find the basement. No, I'm not gonna actually make that joke in there. I am sure they are sick to absolute death of that. But this is the Alamo, and for those of you who've never been, like myself, it's actually quite small. There's not much to it. It was once a vast fort, which I think if you come in here, yeah, you can see sort of the how big it used to be. So that's our modern one now, and that's how big it all used to be. And when you go back, it gets even bigger. Looks like it's biggest, looks like 36 to 46 maybe. That used to be quite the big complex of buildings, and now it's basically just this and like a little bit of this, which would put us right over here right now at the Mission Gate. So let's go and remember the Alamo. So it looks like they are actually so sick of people asking about the basement, they actually have a Pee-wee's bike thing here. So I think we need to get some tickets to go in and see. They have the Phil Collins collection, the Donald and Louisiana Spanish colonial collection, and more than 500 artifacts on display. And I guess so going to the actual church itself is free, but if you want to see other stuff like the Phil Collins collection, that does have. They also have things like the audio wand, which could be fun, but I think we'll probably pass on that. We don't need a guided tour. So I think let's grab a couple tickets for the Alamo exhibit, and also they have a challenge coin, I Do Love Me tokens, so I think we probably need to get one of those too. We've got our tickets for the church and the museum, and we got ourselves a Alamo challenge coin, so just a little token, I Do Love Me tokens. So let's head on in to the Alamo. We are now entering the church because, if nothing else, it's air conditioned in here, which ought to make it real popular on a day like this, no matter what. So this would be, again, this is what people think of, I think, when they think the Alamo. And you can see they're doing some conservation work. They're trying to restore some stuff. Actually, across the street where I guess there used to be Ripley's, there's still a Ripley's there. It's just in a different spot now. But there used to be like a Ripley's and other activities there. And they closed them down and are restoring those old buildings over there. While entry into the church is technically free, restoring it and maintaining it is not. So they are seeking donations. So I will chuck in a little bit of money to help preserve and restore this for future generations. So here you can see that obviously this is not all the original structure, and indeed if you look closely at those models outside of the gate, you can see that this building has been damaged quite badly over the decades that it has been here. So you see they've restored the roof here, obviously added electricity. Didn't have electricity back in the the olden days of the Old West. But the walls themselves, the bits that we're not supposed to touch, that's why there's ropes everywhere, those are honestly the original, but they are definitely more original than the roof. And here we do have a better view, a model of what the Alamo looked like in the past. So as you can see there's the church that we're in now. There's the gate that we came in through, or we stopped on the way in. But then, like, over here, that's where they're rebuilding those buildings. They've gutted them and are trying to, like, restore them from the inside. But yeah, the Alamo used to be quite large, but this is most of what remains of it now. But it's very interesting to think of just how old this structure is. I mean, in the U.S., you don't have like a ton of like really old stuff, because the U.S. compared to other countries just isn't that old. And in here, I think we see this is probably part of one of the guided tours showing some like immersive video film. Now, of course, if you come here and you get the audio self-guided tour, there are the little points here that tell you what parts to listen to, and there's like a version where you can get a tablet and get a whole augmented reality experience. So it says do not touch the walls, which, yeah, we knew that. So this is the sacristy, and it was a place of prayer and contemplation, then a place of safety, and then a place of hidden beauty. And it references here that there are frescoes, or probably more were at this point. And also you can see where there probably were doors and windows. I almost tripped over a bench in here at some point. I suppose from a trip on something, a bench is better to trip on than, say, falling into one of the walls.
Good afternoon, welcome to the Alamo Church. The sacristy is the most holy and reverent place in the church. Up until 1793, this compound was a practicing church. It was known as San Antonio del Alamo.
So this room is called the temporary sacristy. They held mass in this room. They also held mass in the room next door. That's the actual sacristy. The reason why they held mass in this room is because during the mission period, there was no roof over the church. It was still being built up. The church would never be completed. Did y'all notice the doors, well, the doors on the walls? Those doors would have led to bell towers that never got completed. One of the reasons why the church wasn't really completed is because the master mason who was working on the church, his name is Antonio Tello, he got caught in a cheating scandal and fled. And it wasn't gambling cheating either. He was sleeping with a soldier's wife. Yeah, fun times. Also, if you notice, there's a lot of etchings onto the walls. That's historical graffiti from the U.S. Army. The U.S. Army was stationed here from the 1840s all the way up to the 1870s. During that time, they used the Alamo's supply depot. They built the wooden beams above the doors and the windows. They did the doors on the walls right there, the graffiti. They also built the first roof over the church. It looked like a triangle and it was made of wood. But in this room is also where the women and children were held during the Battle of the Alamo. We have a 3-minute video in here. It talks about the fresco paintings. I don't know what to let y'all in right now so that you'll watch it.
So we wandered in here at just the right time because the video's right about to start.
Welcome to our new guests. You're welcome to either sit or stand. If you stand, we do ask that you do not lean on our walls. There's no price for the cheap seats in front of you. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said in the short depiction, in the year 2000, we did have a group of conservationists come in, came in to look at our walls and said what they found with these markings here. The mother and daughter combination were working inside this room when they found those markings. They pretty much coincide with what you've seen in that film right there. We do have to apologize to you. This room here has fallen. That's why you don't see the windows nor the doors anymore. Used to be two rooms of 10 by 10, is one room of 10 by 10. But we did run a second laser you saw in here. Inside this magnifying glass, which you see on the top over here, you will see it inside the wall. Right here with the gentleman standing with the hat on right here, so the last markings for you. Those markings there were between 1846 to 1861 when the United States Army was here. They came in and turned us into a quartermaster depot. After they did that, they did the second thing that Americans love to do. We love to write. They wrote it all over these walls. But we're not mad at them. It's from the 1800s, so we're centuries years old already. So we're happy to have those. But if anyone's looking for markings here at the Alamo, we do have them. Just ask anyone with a shirt like mine outside, they'll be more than happy to show them.
Back here at the back of the church, we have plaques of the heroes of the Alamo. That's something that can be discussed, I'm sure. But it would appear these are people who passed away in defending it in 1836. We have another list of names over here as well. I'm sure if we stopped, we'd see some familiar names from not pop culture of a time, but not necessarily pop culture now, but historical names that would seem quite familiar. And of course, they do acknowledge that not all who perished here are remembered by name. On this spot, January 4th, 1937, bones of 4 unknown persons on Earth, reinterred May 11th, 1937. Over here on the other side of the entrance is another one of these chambers. Looks like they are not currently restoring it, so you can kind of see just what it looks like. You can see some dust has been crumbling off the walls. You can still see the window up in there. Give you a look that I personally can't get because I can't cross the rope. Well, I can't fully cross the rope. I just noticed above the door here, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there's a bunch more of that U.S. Army graffiti that Lidosa was talking about. That's interesting that even in its own way defacing the Alamo has become a part of its modern history.
Yeah, so anywhere that you see the straight edge angles in wood was added by the Army 10 years after the battle. You look right there, it says U.S. That was stamped between 1845 and 1877. U.S. Army was here. Okay. So graffiti that was also left by the soldiers at the same time period. Obviously, boys will be boys. Right.
I can sort of see it. Look here, I think I can just make out some remainders of graffiti of some of the soldiers' names from many, many years ago. And if you listen, you can hear outside here, you can hear them doing some of the restoration work on the outside. Also, there's lots of little wires running over the place. I'm guessing, I don't know if all of it's security alarm or some of it's environmental monitoring, but yeah, they're clearly going whole hog on restoring this place. Some actually really clear examples of the graffiti here. It's ES, FB. You can see some other something is something looks like. Yeah, I guess before you had smartphones to just doom scroll on, you just grabbed a nail and started carving into the wall of a church. We've seen the church. Let's head on outside and see if we can find the rest of the museum exhibit. Well, if nothing else, there's the gift shop. Ah, there we go. More to see. Alamo exhibit. That away. So are the restrooms. I don't know about you, but this is a view of the Alamo I don't know that I've ever seen in much of anything. Everything always shows it from the front, from Pee Wee Herman to King of the Hill to just like every postcard. But here's the kind of the back side of it too. Again, you can see some more of that reconstruction work going on over there. It's kind of going on all around us because there's a tent over there. We'll have to head over to that. I guess first we're going to check out the Alamo gift shop and find us some more Alamo souvenirs, because we got a coin, which is good, but yeah, I guess we got to find like a pin and an ornament and that sort of stuff. So let's go check out the Alamo gift shop. If nothing else, at least it's going to be air conditioned too. And straight up, I've spotted something we need to check out. We have pressed pennies and souvenir medallions. So you can get all 8 Alamo pennies for $5. What are other options over here? Got kind of just like some Texasy ones over there. Blue bonnets, Davy Crockett. And then over here we have Davy Crockett. We have a Come and Take It cannon. Remember the Alamo, Texas, the Lone Star State. I think we have got the Bowie knife here. I think we'll just get all 5 of these. So we're going to touch screen to begin. Select your language. Go for all 8. All 8 on the card. So I don't need to buy one of these books because we have one from Anderson's. Let's check out our 8 pennies being made. Here they come. I kind of would have expected them to do 2 at a time because there's 2 different presses. I wonder if it's too much stress on the machine, that's why they don't do 2 at a time, because I thought that would have been more efficient. Is that all 8? It's still spinning though. Oh, I guess it just resets. So we should have here our 8 pressed. I almost missed one. So 4, 5. Yeah, there's our 8 Alamo pressed pennies. We may by the end of this trip actually end up with more pennies than we made on our last Disney trip. So we've got here. Oh, the ornament's nice. We've also got like coasters of the frescoes from the sacristy that we just saw that little video on not that long ago. Also found a pin. Ornaments 30. The coasters are 14. And the magnet is also 14. And here we have earrings, kids' clothes, glasses. Of course, you gotta have your history books. Gotta have your shot glasses. They even have where you can take a shot out of the Alamo itself. We even have like Stanley Cup shot mugs. That's you put your espresso in there and you just kind of like sip your espresso shot as your morning goes by. There's a There's a not nice joke in that, but it's a not nice sentiment. So we're kind of over more into just Texas in general here. We have Texas trivets. We have various sauces, cookbooks, and, oh, we've seen these before. The General's Hot Sauce. Well, they do actually have the assault weapon. That actually is one that I was interested in, was the assault weapon. Because that is, what was it? Medium heat habanero salt, yeah. Couldn't remember why I was interested, but I remember that I was interested in it. We also have little hand grenade shot glasses, decals, more shot glasses. It's kind of more of a, like, classic Alamo look merchandise. Looks like something that would have been around, you know, a long time ago. You can even eat the Alamo or all of Texas. You can't get a cookie the size of Texas, but you can get a Texas cookie. For the more cultured amongst us, we do have arts. You can buy different arts, letters and documents of freedom. Get a reproduction and Declaration of Independence. You got reproduction, old-timey money. Same thing. See, you buy this and then you frame it. It looks like you have something like really cool and old. That one gets my attention because it has coins in it. The Travis letter. I don't know what that is yet, but I'm guessing when we go into the museum, we will learn a little something about the Travis letter. And then there is the reproduction currency, which again, you can frame and look fancy. Over here, we have the kids section with toys. You can get some plushies closet outfits for your totally not for your Build-A-Bear. They do actually sell the bears, so. But I imagine that probably would fit a Build-A-Bear. God, Texas Longhorns, armadillos, the Alamo cat, which again, don't know too much about, but I'm guessing we'll learn about that once we get into the museum. We have log cabins, not Lincoln logs, just a log cabin, Alamo log cabin playset. Rifles, pop guns, and of course, the mini blocks. But these rock biter hands are not going to play well with mini blocks. They also have a puzzle. I think we've seen that actual exact puzzle at Costco. Playing cards and fans, which I'm surprised they aren't selling more of those today, because even though it's October, it's still quite warm. And then classic souvenir gear. We have spoons and thimbles. You don't see spoons and especially thimbles around so much anymore. That was always a thing when I was coming up, but not so much anymore. Some more pins. Got a pocket watch. We have coins. I got an Alamo coin though. I should be good with the Alamo coin I already have. Souvenirs have been acquired. Also bought a very expensive bottle of water, and I've already drank it. But then over here we have the Living History Encampment, where we have some reenactors just kind of, living their best Alamo life. Now, I do think the fairy lights are not period accurate, but the rest of it probably is. We have an itty bitty cannon. I wonder what kind of caliber. I mean, that'll still put a nice big hole in you, but it's I don't think I've ever seen a cannon that small of caliber before. And then we have tents like what the soldiers stationed here at the Alamo would have slept in. And it looks like they must at some point do like campfires or bonfires out here, because this looks like something you would start a bonfire with. That's that construction work going on. Oh, look, a squirrel. So, souvenirs have been acquired. We've got ourselves a nice little Alamo bag. And then we are going to head into the museum proper and check out the Phil Collins exhibit, and hopefully hopefully, this is kind of the thing I didn't know was important to me until we got here and saw that it was actually here. We're going to hopefully get to see Pee-wee's bike. They should have had that in the souvenir. I would have totally bought a little die-cast Pee-wee's bike. We are in the main museum building. We're in the Stacy and Jason Gilman family's grand lobby, where we can see looks like examples of artifacts from the history of, I don't know if it's just the Alamo, but the area. But we have bows and arrows, flint spears, got spurs, bits. Is that a... Looks like a dagger. Is that an adze? I mean, I suppose well, it's number 10. Well, that's no, those are shears. It's hinged. Okay. The adze is number 11, which is, oh, I mean, of course, that's an adze. I mean, how would you possibly confuse that for anything but an adze? 16 is St. Anthony de Padua. I've got coins. I want coins. They're from the Alamo collection. Oh no, those are Mexican reales. Also from the Alamo collection. Got more coins up here, 19, 20, and 21. Those are commemorative coins from the San Antonio Missions. The Alamo Sesquicentennial commemorative coin from 1986. And the Lone Star commemorative coins from 1961. So at least like a couple of those. I mean, they're all older than me. Oh, no, talking about the 86 ones wouldn't be older than me. But most of them are older than me. But they would theoretically have been attainable in my lifetime. And then we have... What do we have? What is number 45? That's interesting looking. That is a crucifix candelabra. So are you supposed to put holy water? I guess you put holy water in the little basin there, which is why we have number 42 next to it, which is a bottle wrapped in metal filigree. And look, we have a teeny tiny axe. They must have once had teeny tiny little craftsmen here. That's how they got all the great details in. We're entering the Dreben family gallery. We have old-timey hand grenades. Look, it's all those cartoon bombs with the fuse coming out of them. They're little hand grenades from the 1830s with a blast radius of 20 feet. I'm going to assume this one has had the explosive removed from it, and it's from the Phil Collins Texana collection. Got buttons, got grape shot, cannonball. And then over here we have a full-on cannon. This is a 9-pounder cannon recovered by Spanish soldiers from a schooner that ran aground off the coast of Texas in 1817. And here we have the fall of the Alamo, which has been removed. I guess it must have fallen. A 4-pound bronze cannonball. I'm guessing by the fact it's flattened that it must have actually been used. And Sam Houston's boot knife. Now this is cool. We have a Michele pistol from 1775 or circa 1775 and a Zapador axe, both from the Phil Collins collection. Engineers, sappers in the Mexican army would have used an axe similar to this to tear down the Alamo's walls. Cattle brands, powder flask, a retablo of St. Francis. That just looks kind of nightmarish, doesn't it? Ex voto retablo. The image shows a scene of a horse accident, and the text gives thanks to a higher power for saving us. So it's actually it's a nice thing. It's not disturbing like it looks to me, but it's actually a nice thing. Looks like the conquistadors didn't muck about with little round spinny spike spurs. No, they just had a big old spike to drive on the side of their horses. Look, it's an action figure. It says the statue, but that's got articulation. That is a St. Joseph action figure if I've ever seen one, and I never have until now. This stuff looks a little higher end than our average Alamo Denison fairs. Looks like someone's ready for a night on the town with this gear. Dress gloves, a cat's eye banded agate ring, and Anton Friedrich Wolf's top hat. Wolf immigrated from Germany to San Antonio, where he became the city's first park commissioner in 1890. So it's the park commissioner's hat from 140 years ago. Ooh, this is kind of cool. An ambrotype of David G. Burnett, the twice interim president of the Republic of Texas. We have an Alamo chess set and board created by Studio Ann Carlton for the Texas Sesquicentennial. So that would have been, what was that? We saw the coins for that. It was like 86. This hand-cast pewter and hand-painted chess set depicts the Texan and Mexican armies in uniforms and clothes. I have a very strong suspicion I may have seen this for sale on TV as a child. One of those, I remember, like memory unlocked here. I remember they used to have things where they sold chess sets on the TV, and like every month they would send you a piece, and eventually, and this feels very much like this may have been something from that. We have more coins here. We have a platinum proof of the Battle of the Alamo coin. And we have commemorative hemisphere coins and dies from the 1968 World's Fair called the Hemisphere, which was held here in San Antonio. You know me, I love tokens. Like this Lusitania coin. It's a medal, but what's a medal but a large token? In here we have our biggest yet model of the Alamo, where if you listen, if I weren't talking over it, Phil Collins is narrating the Battle of the Alamo itself. So this would have been the Alamo as of like the big battle, what, 1836 I think that would be? But yeah, over there is where we were, minus its roof. Over here is the gate that we came through with that partial production. And then kind of off to the back there, off the map, would be the building that we're in currently.
The northwest corner of the compound contained a northern Castaneda house, which had been covered over and reinforced for use as a heavy gun position. Equipped with one cannon firing to the west and another firing north, it was one of the main defensive positions for these two walls. After days of little or no sleep at all, most of the defenders were rested, as the night had been a quiet one. Once the Texans realized that they were under attack from the south, they scrambled to their feet, grabbed their weapons, and opened fire on the enemy.
I don't know if there's a particular order you're supposed to do things in here, but we're going to head on upstairs next. Mostly to get the stairs out of the way. We can look at this cool art on the wall as we go. I think the fellow with the knife there was Davy Crockett. So, not mistaken, this wall is all cannon shot. Well, I guess some of it may be grape shot, but all cannon ammunition. We're entering the IBC Foundation Gallery. which does seem to be focused on weapons. So we have a wood reproduction of a cannon with, I guess, 9-pounders, and then lots of actual cannonballs, musket balls. We've got blunderbuss shot, buck and ball, and a box of cannonballs. Those must have been like special commemorative edition. Okay, so not everything up here is a weapon. I mean, we have lances and hatchets, and those technically can be tools as well of other things. We got powder horns, bullet molds. That's pretty cool. The idea of making your own ammunition. I mean, I know it's a thing people do. Got flint wallets, which makes sense. If you have a weapon that requires a flint, you should have spares. Yeah, it's just so neat to think that this stuff probably ended up in garages and attics, only to eventually finally make its way here, like this adarga from the Spanish colonial collection. So is that a shield? What is an adarga? See, this is void of intelligence. You should expect these things by now. We have like a old school primitive Bowie knife. More espadas, or one more espada. Got muskets. Got more cannons. Itty bitty ones, and more like normal size, and really short fat ones. The Mexican howitzer. This bronze howitzer is similar to the ones used by the Mexican army in the 1836 Alamo battle. General Santa Anna had 3 howitzers of this type that fired exploding balls over Alamo walls, timed to detonate about 20 feet over ground. I'm guessing that must have thrown off some real impressive, deadly, painful shrapnel. Got a knife and sword collection over here. Got some more Bowies with a ham knife. Is a ham knife for what I think it's for? Or is it for like long pork? Because we have an all-purpose knife, which does look very much like just a much fancier version of something I have in my knife drawer at home. We have more Bowie knives, dirks. We have, it says it's a blade found in the north wall of the Alamo. I think that is just a massive tetanus right there is what that is. And we got a Santa Anna sword. I don't know if it's actually Santa Anna's sword. I feel like it would be a little bit more like shown off if it was actually Santa Anna's sword. We have a dragoon saber of the Texas Republic, or the Republic of Texas. An 1833 modern dragoon saber. And a Sam Houston. So again, I'm gonna guess, well, maybe not, because we had that Sam Houston something or other down. I've forgotten what it is. Sorry, the heat is ruining my short-term memory right now. I know we had something downstairs. That was Sam Houston as well. It didn't have a whole ton of fanfare. You'd think it would. And of course, over here you have to have firearms, rifles, muskets, pistols, Spanish pistols, frontier pistols. Can you imagine what the kick on one of these must have been? Because I mean, they shot things like these over here. These are musket balls. What? And you just fired them just a big old wadge of gunpowder. How big? How hard must that thing have kicked to launch those? So over here we have something we can actually touch, which is a reproduction of the rifles. Doesn't actually move or anything, which is probably good because you'd probably pinch a person's fingers. But yeah, that shows you the whole mechanism, stock, the lock, the barrel. No, not the kids from Nightmare Before Christmas. That's shock, lock, and barrel. You were close though. So outside, when you first entered the church, they take your picture, which of course they then sell to you. But it looks like they are adding those pictures to their little photo wall here, which I noticed they also once had a visit from Donald Duck. And I see Bob Hope there, Ronald Reagan, Jimmy Carter. I think that's somebody from ZZ Top. Is there Pee-wee? I feel like if there's not Pee-wee, then they've lost the plot. Because I'm still pretty sure they actually did film that scene out in front of here. And no, I don't see Pee-wee. Oh, that's a missed opportunity is what that is. What do we have over here? Remembering the Alamo. Explore a collection of commemorative objects. So these are old souvenirs. So much like the stuff we bought today, but very, very old. The Zuber gold coin, presented to the surviving veterans of the Battle of San Jacinto in 1909. We have John Wayne's Directors Guild Award place card. Not the award, just the place card. Does that mean that's the place card you get? I want to be nominated for something. A coconut shell brought back from Cuba by Colonel Charles J. Freward. We have the the Texas Sesquicentennial. I can't. The heat's really affecting me. The Texas Sesquicentennial. So yeah, it was 1986. Sesquicentennial. I'll finish the word eventually. The Texas Sesquicentennial banjo from 1986. Looks shiny. Wonder if Steve Martin has one of those. I feel like he would. A Sesquicentennial sword and a 9/11 commemorative bell. Over here we've got some awesome dishes. Centennial plates, looks like, for the most part. So these are from 1936, not 86. That would be the Sesquicentennial, which is 150 years, if I'm remembering. Yeah, that would be Sesquicentennial, right? Well, that'd be 150 years after 1836. And then out here with the Alvarez Family Terrace. What's on the Alvarez Family Terrace? Do we want to go see it? It opens inward. And, no. It just, only thing out there is hot sun. Let's instead go check out the Laurie Shields Ralston Gallery. And get somewhere around here that's supposed to be Pee-wee's bike. But that somewhere is not here. It's got that museum smell. It's also very quiet, which is why I'm whispering. So hopefully I'm able to do something with this in editing to make it audible. A saber and scabbard with presentation case. See, this was totally in someone's great-granddad's attic for years before it ended up in here. Ooh, look at that rifle. The Texas Sesquicentennial Commemorative Winchester. That looks just really impressive for some reason. And look, we have a handheld cannon if you want to rip your hands off. Those are some shiny revolvers. Alamo model commemorative single action Army Peacemaker revolvers, 1967. A 22 caliber and a 45 caliber. I guess maybe you put the 22 in your weaker hand so that you can control it better when it kicks. Now here's stuff I would expect to be more familiar to people who are my age and older, but still alive, would be Davy Crockett. Mostly from this stuff down here. I mean, this stuff, that Walt Disney's Davy Crockett is absolutely a thing that would have been kicking around like my grandmother's attic, if not my mother's. And it's even signed by the actor who portrayed Disney's Davy Crockett himself, Fess Parker. Yeah, see, for a lot of you, that's largely who like Frontierland was based around at Disneyland, and like nobody remembers that anymore. Is it just me, or does Fess Parker look a little bit like the guy that played the Flash, the movie version of the Flash? And here it is. We finally found it. We didn't have to go to the basement. Here is Pee-wee's bike, or specifically, it's Pee-wee's stunt bike. So this is a screen-used bicycle. So I heard the docent explain to somebody else that they made 10 of Pee-wee's bikes for the film, and this one was actually ridden by Pee-wee himself. Most remember the Alamo for the Battle of 1836. Many remember Fess Parker, John Wayne, and this iconic bike. And look, there's even a picture of Paul. So they didn't have this up in the picture area, but there is a picture of Paul Rubin and Tim Burton in front of the Alamo. That should have been upstairs in that picture display. I told you, they've just missed an opportunity there, but it's here somewhere. It's a thing of beauty. Pee-wee's bike. We're back out in the courtyard next to the Alamo, and we have a Japanese monument to the heroes of the Alamo. From Shigetaka Shiga, Japanese geography professor. Also, we have a pecan tree, and it says this is a tranquil and quiet area tranquila, but the construction work says otherwise. What do we have? Do we have anything interesting over here? Erected in grateful recognition of the supreme act of heroism of the 32 men from Gonzales who gave their lives in the Alamo in response to the appeal of Travis. We didn't see anything about the Travis letter. The letter that saved Texas, there's some more stuff over here. Yeah, I didn't see anything in the museum about the Travis letter or about the Alamo cat. So there must still be more stuff here to see. We have a millstone, which my first impulse was to go put my hand on it. It does say not to lean, not to touch, or well, it says not to sit or lean on. So I guess we can touch it. We'll touch it gently. This millstone brought to Texas by Canary Island colonists and used in Molino Blanco, presented by Frank Grease and Nat Lewis. Then we have the Spanish Hospital. Some very pretty bottles in the window. That's probably not the takeaway you should look for in a hospital. Guess you couldn't have too many people be sick at one time. Over here we have, looks like a little documentary about the history of the Alamo, presumably the Battle of the Alamo. And I think probably the most attractive thing about it is that you're sitting in front of a swamp cooler while you watch it. We have another much cleaner model of the Alamo, maybe like an idealized version of it. You can see storage places, you see lots of open space, and of course the never in its time completed church. So I guess the church didn't even have a roof on it originally until the Americans took it over, because one of those things that they put like a wood like triangle roof on it, not like what's on it today. Here in the courtyard we do see this well. We've seen that in a number of the models of the Alamo that we've seen, like back in the gate. And watch out this side gate over here. I'm gonna guess statues. But I'm surprised we didn't see, unless that's just something we missed, we've overlooked. Maybe some section of the museum we just didn't go into. But I didn't see anything on the Travis letters. I didn't see anything on the Alamo cat. And I kind of expect to see stuff on both of those. But out here, we have, some statuary. We have what at one point was a drinking fountain back in 1974. They have probably very wisely shut that off. You can see some signs of the restoration work out here. We have a statue of John William Smith, El Colorado. We have, is that Ariel? Belle? No, that's Emily West Morgan. She has a very Disney princess vibe going here. Maybe they'll get to her eventually. We have a statue that has apparently gone walkabout. We have a great place to make speeches from. And then, who is this? Was this Bowie? Houston? No, it's Hendrik Arnold. I'm not familiar with Hendrik Arnold. Who are you, Hendrik Arnold? A free man of mixed race, emigrated from Mississippi in 1826, settled with his parents in Austin's colony on the Brazos River. He played a key role in the Texas Revolution as a guide and spy for the Texan Army. Well, actually says Texian Army. I'm going to assume that's correct. And then over here we have Juan Nepomuceno Seguin. I've probably murdered that name, but as he's over 100 years in the grave, he probably won't mind. Who are you, Juan? Born to a prominent San Antonio family, Juan Nepomuceno Seguin led a life of service to his community. He was both a soldier and a politician, becoming mayor of San Antonio in 1841. And finally, we have a statue of William Barrett Travis, the accomplished much before his death at the Alamo in 1836. A native of South Carolina, Travis was raised in Alabama, where he taught school, edited a newspaper, passed the bar, all before turning 21. To be fair, I think passing the bar was a little easier back then, but still, that's impressive. Moved to Texas in 1831 to escape debt and a failing marriage. Guess that explains why he looks a little worn out there. I didn't know you could actually walk out here and walk right up to the well. The Alamo Well. This well provided water for the people of Mission San Antonio de Valero in the 1700s and the Alamo Defenders in 1836. And of course, despite there being no actual water in it, people have still been chucking money down there. I was honestly kind of hoping there'd be some water down there. But still, pretty cool to think this well's been here for a couple hundred years. And so we end back at the beginning where we started. Well, more or less, I guess we technically started over there at the gate. We ended back at the, hopefully, I think about where Pee-wee himself was in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, in front of the Alamo's church. And yeah, it was a good experience. It was a good piece of American history. It's kind of thing I never really thought I would come and visit, because I never really had any expectation of ever coming to Texas. But here we are, and here we are. And of all things, we got to see Pee-wee Herman's bike, which honestly has left me a little choked up, although that could just be heat exhaustion. I really don't know. But yeah, definitely, I mean, if you ever find yourself in San Antonio and near the Alamo, it's worth kicking in $14 to come check out. Well, check out the museum. Of course, the church is free. They do ask for donations, but the church is free. They have the courtyard. They have the statues. They have more stuff coming. They have all these old buildings here that they're trying to. They saved the facades and are trying to restore the insides with something presumably modern and up to fire codes. And I don't know. I mean, not like they're trying to restore the Alamo exactly with it, but still something historical. The Crockett block from 1882. So not Battle of 1836 period, but still old and classic and being preserved so that future generations can have an appreciation of it. But with that, I think we should wrap this up with the memory of Pee-wee's bike in our hearts. I hope you found this all interesting or entertaining. If you did, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Now I'm gonna go find something cold, wet, and caffeinated.